they have to get a third team involved, whether that is Chicago, whether that is Philadelphia or the Raptors or the Suns. And if Charlotte gets involved as a third team with Miami involved as well, there have been some links with Tyler Herro and the Hornets. So I guess we'll start there, Brian. I mean, I don't want to necessarily, I don't have any fake trades. I tried so hard to come up with a fake trade on the NBA trade machine. I even included a fourth team. It was very difficult to make all the money match and work and try to get fair value. It was tough. It was difficult. And I was trying to, balance it as perfectly as possible, even without the picks. Like I was just trying to get the players. It was difficult. So I applaud these GMs when they finally get this thing done, if it happens to be a 3-team deal. But let's just talk about Tyler Herro, the player. Let's just assume, somehow he lands up in Charlotte. Like, is that a player that fans should get excited about? And we'll go ahead and just entertain that idea. I think when I think about Tyler Herro, I think his strong suit is like his shot making. Like he's different than Rozier in the sense that Rozier is more of an off-ball gravity guy, and that's what Rozier does best. And it's not that Tyler Herro can't run off screens. I just get the sense that he probably prefers to have the ball in his hands a little bit more often than kind of running off of screens. Like he's a talented pull-up shooter
That's for
in
sure. Yeah.
range. Like he may over dribble at times, but you almost wonder, like, run some pick and rolls with him. Against a drop coverage, he could hit that mid-range shot. You run pick and roll with PJ. It's kind of like pick your poison. Interesting combo there, both being, I guess, Kentucky teammates, right? So, it forces the defense to make a quick decision. If there's any confusion, Herro can definitely take advantage of that too. And he's got the dribble moves to get, bigs on their heels, and he uses that to his advantage. And it's funny, we talk about defensive stuff and how Hornets need that in the worst way possible. They don't have a lot of guys on the roster that can be an impact player. And we mentioned his name a lot in a recent episode, and it was not necessarily in a good way. He's below average. Like I think that's pretty fair to say. And we see some limitations with him on that end when going through the Mark Williams film that we did a couple weeks ago. So that's my quick breakdown of him. I think he's a very good shot maker. I think he's a guy that could feast in the mid range. But Brian, what do you see from Herro as a player? And is he a guy that you would value on this roster?
Not not necessarily. I mean, you hit some of the high points, Richie. Like he is a big time shot maker. He makes tough shots. He can create his own shot. I think he's grown a little bit as a pick and roll playmaker for others. Though I don't think it's like an elite level as far as him just like give him the ball, let him like break down the defense. Like I don't think he's that, though I do think he's earned some pick and roll reps. I kind of wish his usage would actually get tilted closer to like what Rozier's does look like. I actually think he would be sort of interesting more as and certainly, in Miami, you're going to get all the handoffs, you're going to get the split action, like that type of stuff. But I kind of think he should lean even more into like the off-ball move or pathway. But as you were noting, it doesn't seem like that's what he wants to do. It does seem like he wants to. Certainly, that's part of it, but he also wants to be a guy that is getting his spread pick and roll looks, X number of them per game, sort of like built into the offense. As good as Herro is offensively, he can really, really shoot. He's been an incredible corner 3-point shooter throughout his career. He can hit it from off the dribble above the break. He's got the mid-range game. He's excellent in like the runner floater zone. But I think you would run into, I think a LaMelo Herro backcourt offensively has a lot of the same limitations that the LaMelo Rozier backcourt has had, barring some elite from one of those two guys. And they're both very, very young. And obviously, I think LaMelo has a lot of upside, and maybe Herro has some stuff he can tap into. Like he's still probably 23, 24 years old. Like he's just now heading into his fifth season in the NBA, which will be year one of his 4-year, $120 million contract extension, which will go into effect next season. So, but as far as those limitations go, like this is not someone that I think you just give him the ball and he's going to run 50 pick and rolls per game, and that's going to turn into good offense. I think you've got to design some stuff up for him. You got to scheme him some of these looks, and he doesn't fix any of the rim pressure concerns. And this is a guy who, according to Cleaning the Glass, 15% of his shots were at the rim last season. For his career, under 20% of his field goal attempts have come at the rim. That's a pretty low number. And obviously, like, he's a great shooter from every level of the floor, but he's smaller. He's not an incredible athlete. And so I do think he's just like limited in terms of like half court offensive creation impact. And if that's the case, that doesn't mean he's not a useful guy to pair with LaMelo. Like we've seen the Hornets squeeze a top 6 offense with a lot of LaMelo and Terry Rozier involvement in those looks. And hypothetically, like Herro and Mark Williams could be like a nice pick and roll battery. Like it's like you could see some ways he would fit, but like long term, I just don't really see it as a backcourt that you pair together, even because it's going to have limitations on the offensive end. And that would obviously be its like strong side, because defensively, this is someone that's always going to have a target on his back. You see it every year when the Heat are in the playoffs. And I mean, he wasn't really involved much in the postseason this year as the Heat played better and went to the NBA Finals. I don't pin that on Herro, but it is something to sort of like at least take note of. But this is a guy that routinely you've seen people are going to try to get him in a switch and go after him. Like he's just got a target on his back. And I do think if the Hornets were ever in a postseason scenario where this was an issue, they would love for that to be the case, right? Because it would mean that they were in a postseason series that turned into a half court slugfest, but just, I don't see the physicality, the screen navigation, the one-on-one defensive impact. Like I just don't see it there. It's another skinnier guard that doesn't really defend at a high level. And I would need to like watch more of Miami to sort of like get a better feel for what his like team defense looks like. Certainly the Heat have played a lot of zone with Eric Spoelstra and Tyler Herro there, perhaps in part to try to keep him out of some of those matchup issues. But I would like the game that we watched, the Mark Williams versus Miami game from February earlier this year. Just in the Williams clips alone that we showed, which were probably like 5 or 6 offensive clips, like multiple defensive breakdowns from Herro. So that's a little bit of cherry picking on my end. I would need to watch more of his film and sort of like study him more off ball to get a better feel for it. But I don't think the like point of attack, screen navigation, one-on-one defense is a strength by any means. So it would ultimately depend on, I think, who the other ball handler would be in the mix with them. Like if Brandon Miller, ended up becoming a star and a guy that could actually give you some downhill creation. Or, I mean, I don't know. I think I've been pretty like hesitant to mention too many like long-term scenarios with Miles Bridges back as like a foundational piece. And I've avoided that for a lot of obvious reasons, but Bridges is a guy that is a pressure point on the rim, and you could probably build a good half court offense if you got, the Miles Bridges from 2022 with LaMelo and Tyler Herro. I still think you have lots of defensive concerns, but I just don't love the fit offensively. I have big concerns for it defensively. There's some stuff you could do offensively that would work very well. That would come from the LaMelo Herro or the LaMelo Rozier stylistic playbook. But I still think you would run into a lot of the same issues that this team has throughout the last 3 seasons, even when the offense has been like a good to very good regular season offense.
Yeah, I agree with 99% of what you just said there. He does not solve the issues in which the Hornets have been plagued with in the past handful of seasons. And I do think that like if he was involved in this trade for Charlotte, it would have to come at the expense of Terry Rozier. Like you aren't trading Herro for him to come off the bench at that 4-year, $120 million number that you just said. Like, and for matching purposes, like Rozier makes a ton of sense to be included in a 3-team, 4-team deal. So let me ask you this question. Like, even if he doesn't really move the needle for you, does the fact that he is 5, 6 years younger than Rozier, albeit he's locked in for an extra year out into 26, 27, does that like sway you anymore? Or is it too much of a, lateral move where his shot making and maybe incremental steps on defense just aren't going to sway you enough?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yes, I think so. I think it would be a little bit too lateral. I mean, you know, look, I wanted them to draft Scoot Henderson, so like anything short of that right now just doesn't sound all that appealing to me at the moment. And I think, I guess the one case you could make is that um, perhaps Hero could retain some, has more trade value 2 years. I mean, I think he would have more trade value 2 years from now than
Yep.
Terry Rozier, because Hero would be in the prime of his career. He would have 2 years on his contract, not one. So like maybe you could squeeze something else out of him, and so there's that. And in the interim, you could have like you could build a uh, potentially build a decent offense with LaMelo and Hero as your like the all sauce, backcourt of the Hornets. But and I guess having like a Mark Williams type defensively at center, assuming he continues to develop and improve, could be a guy that would like make up for some of those perimeter deficiencies, navigating screens and getting over screens, that type of stuff, by just having his size